going to have to ask you all to be very quiet so that you can hear me. I'll use my best loud teaching and coaching voice. Can everyone hear me in the sides? Okay, can you hear me on that side? All right, I'll do my best. I ask you to be very active listeners and listen carefully. The focus.
Please accept great teachers for this interruption. We're having a few technical difficulties regarding the live stream. Things are going to give it just a couple more minutes to try to resolve that. If not, just know that it will be recorded and then the students can watch it tomorrow. Thanks so much.
So as you just heard, we are having some technical difficulties. So with the mic being a little bit difficult, with our live stream having some issues, I ask you to be very good audience members and to keep it down so everyone else around you can hear. Is that fair? Yes, sir. All right, thank you very much. And again, today is just time to review some of the expectations for behavior, the expectations for safety, okay? So hopefully this won't take too long and we'll get you back into your advisory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting our second semester of ID wearing, okay? You guys have done a really good job of doing this. I want to commend all of you that managed to wear your IDs today. Please be sure that you have your IDs on and out at all times. I know that we've got some cooler weather coming up, but please be sure that they are visible at all times. As I look around today, I see some of you that don't have them out visible. If you need a new lanyard, or if you need a piece of yarn or something like that, please stop by the front office. Let's be sure that they are out and visible at all times. That is one of our keys to our safety plan, okay? As you can see, we have some visitors over here today. They've got their visitor badges on. Every adult in this building should have an ID that is out and on and visible, okay? If they don't, if you see an adult in the hallway that does not have an ID on that is out and visible, feel free to be polite and say, excuse me, I don't see your ID. Can I assist you in some manner? Can I help you? Everyone's expected to have an ID. Let me direct you to the front office where we can do that for you and get you a visitor badge, okay? That's just part of our thing about what we expect everybody to do. Second thing, we have focused this year on three things. Be safe, be responsible, be respectful. We've been doing a pretty good job of being safe. We've been practicing our drills. Our safety drills have been going off rather well. So give yourselves a pat on the back for that. Hopefully we'll never have to use it. The idea of practicing a drill is to be prepared. Hopefully we'll never ever have to use them. Okay, the second part of that expectation is be responsible. Take care of your business. The third thing is be respectful. Ladies and gentlemen, it costs nothing to be respectful to one another, even if someone is having a disagreement with you. You have the right to be in disagreement, but that does not give you the opportunity to be disrespectful. Civilization depends on our ability to disagree without disrespect. That is a challenge for you when we are talking about the media, when we are talking about things that we see on TV, that we hear and see things in popular culture. Young people, you are living in a challenging time. It is difficult to turn on a television set, even watching a sports show, and not having two people like arguing over something. That's not really how civilization works. We must be able to disagree in a civilized manner and talk things out. That's how we find resolution and resolve issues. I urge each and every one of you, even if you are in disagreement with someone, maintain your cool. Be respectful. If you find yourself in a place where you're having difficulty being respectful, then disengage from that person. Okay? We'll come back to more about that in a little bit. First, let's go back to being safe. Everybody in this building has a responsibility toward being safe and maintaining our building security. Again, if you see an adult in the hallway, check for an ID. If they do not have an ID, if you're not comfortable talking with that person or directing them to the front office, go and find the nearest adult and tell them, hey, there's somebody in the hallway, they don't have an ID and I don't know who they are. That's something that we need to be on top of. Does everybody understand that? If you understand that, give me a 5. All right, thank you. Second thing, we have drills, and we do have drills coming up this week. So let's review a couple of things. If the fire alarm goes off, we do not immediately head for the door. What we do instead is we prepare for a lockdown. If the fire alarm goes off, we do not head for the door, we prepare for a lockdown. Notice how I'm repeating this. This is important. If a fire alarm goes off, we prepare for a lockdown. We make sure the door is locked. We make sure the door window is covered. We make sure that the lights are off. And we sit tight for an announcement to evacuate. Does everybody understand that? Fire alarm goes off, we lock the door, we cover the windows, we turn the lights off, and we sit tight and we wait for an announcement to evacuate. If that announcement never comes, you stay in lockdown. What's happening from the time that the bell rings to announcement is somebody like me, or Mr. Hughes, or Ms. Moore, or one of our other first responder people on campus, we are going to go to the point of where the fire alarm is originating to determine if it's a real fire alarm or not. If it's a real fire alarm, we will make a call to the entire campus. It's real, evacuate. If we call for an evacuation, at that point, your class is going to the home side of the football stadium and getting in the stands. Correct? We've practiced that several times this year. You guys are doing a great job. Let's do it again when we have a drill later this week. 7th grade will report to the home side stands. 6th grade will report to the baseball field, just as we drilled previously. If we go into a lockdown, we do the same thing. You'll hear an announcement come over the PA system. It is not a secret code. We do not have secret codes. We want everybody to know what's going on. So if we go into a lockdown, we will say, lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. At that point, we lock the door, we cover the window, turn the lights off. You will move as far away in your classroom as possible, away from the door, and at that point, you prepare to fight back if necessary if your door is breached. Get something in your hand. Gentlemen, I see some talking over there. I cannot imagine what is more important than school safety right now. I would appreciate more active listening and not disrupting. Lockdowns have been a fact of life for several years now, but never have we asked you to be prepared to fight back. We're asking you to be prepared to do so. The good news is that we're following best practices. In all the recent events that have caused a lot of concern for school safety, no one has been killed behind a locked door. So making sure that door is locked is key. Making sure that window is covered so that people cannot see in is key. Making sure the lights are off is key. Making sure that you are quiet is key. Okay, where's the camera? 6th graders, I'm looking at you. 6th graders, you must be quiet. 7th graders as well. Oh, good. Okay, excellent. Thanks. Okay, let's review a couple other school-wide and campus expectations. Cell phones and electronic devices, including earbuds and headphones, are not permitted in the hallways after the first bell. If a teacher gives you permission in the classroom, fine. Teachers might be using that as a reward for filling a jar full of golden horseshoes. You may be using your phones and things for educational purposes because most of your smartphones these days are powerful computers and you can get a lot of information that way. But not in the hallways between passing periods. After the first bell rings in the morning till the end of the day, those phones and devices should be put away unless you're in the cafeteria, not on your way to the cafeteria, but inside the cafeteria, and your class has lunch privileges. Okay? If your phone gets picked up, you will be expected to pay a $15 fine. That's been that way for years. It's a standard. It's what is expected. Okay? So please, let's maintain that. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been in school a long time. You've heard this conversation before. Please keep all alcohol, drugs, tobacco, vapes, please keep all of that off this campus. Those are contraband items. So again, let's talk about that. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, vapes, weapons of any kind are not permitted on campus. There are serious disciplinary consequences for that that may trickle over into legal issues depending on what is brought onto campus. I don't want that for anyone. Please understand that if you bring those items onto campus, you take a lot of the disciplinary control out of my hands because a lot of that stuff is controlled by state guidelines, not school guidelines. So please, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, let's keep all that stuff off of campus. Can we agree to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, everything else after that comes down to school expectations for behavior. You've been in school for a long time. If you are taking care of your business, if you're generally nice to people, you're keeping your hands and feet to yourself, everything's pretty much going to be all right. All right, we have a guest of honor about to show up. Now, hey guys.
I'm allergic.
8th grade.
I'm not going to
8th grade. 8th grade. Please give me your focus. Okay? It occurred to me before Christmas that while you guys have seen a sniffer dog in action coming through classrooms and things, you may not have ever seen an actual demonstration. You may not know what an animal is capable of. So, also because it's just kind of cool. I did some research and found out that dogs have an incredible sense of smell. For example, if somebody's in the kitchen and you smell cookies baking, you're kind of like, cookies are baking, yay. A dog smells each individual ingredient. they have something, and I may get this wrong, but dogs have something on the order of like 30,000 additional smell receptors and can discriminate and smell things like 3,000 times better than a human. So, can I have the handler and the animal please come out to the side?
Yeah. Maybe it's his name correct. Yo,
Hey guys, let me introduce you to Melissa. Okay, now, during the demonstration, I'm going to ask you to kind of be quiet because the dog's going to be doing some stuff, and I really want him to be able to show off for you so that we're not too distracted, okay? All right? So, if you need to go, just do it kind of low so we don't distract him, okay? All right? I'm sorry.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Well, my house can't be
Wanted to meet you today and introduce you to one of my 4 dogs. I have a quarter dog and a girl dog team. But the dogs that I bring into your school system have 5 of the basic narcotic odors that you're probably learning about in your DARE classes. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
And what classes? Not really.
Okay, in addition to that, the dogs that come into your school are also looking for drugs, guns, and alcohol. So that's a little bit different than a police dog on the street. So she has to go to a little bit of a higher level in her training, and that takes maybe a few months. So when we teach her to find guns, we're looking for not just the steel, but the odor of the gun oil, and the cleaning solvents, and the gunpowder, and bullets, and shotgun shells. So there's a little bit of a variety of repertoire. In addition to these 4 dogs, I have another specialty dog at home that I want to tell you about because he may be in your future, or a dog like him may be in your future. And it's called an electronic storage device detector dog. And what his job is to find little tiny micro SIM cards that are in your cell phones and thumb drives that are stuck into your computers. The reason we might be looking for those someday is because they may contain some bad photographs of kids right at your age group and younger. How many of you take selfies with your phones?
Be honest. Be honest. I took one in my life.
What for?
They don't disappear ever. They are recoverable from cyberspace. So never let anybody tell you that you're deleting and washing your hard drive does any good. If you ever said that it's up there, it's recoverable, it's hackable, and it's able to be found by the That's why we teach dogs to help you keep you safe, keep the bad guys off your picture. So in other words, here's
Ooh, can I have that back?
So, feel free to do some research on your own, but the fact that dogs are working and highly trained, please know that we will be bringing them through the building periodically through the semester, just as we've done before. It's just that I don't think anybody's ever done a demonstration for you. When I asked around, it seemed like nobody's ever done a demonstration for the entire school, so I wanted to be sure that you could see how a dog works and how a dog alerts. Okay? So, let's give them a round of applause.
Beatrice, I want to be fetch.
Okay, so let's refocus. Our conversation today has been about being safe, being responsible, being respectful. It costs nothing to be respectful. It takes little to be safe other than being trained and being aware of your situation and your surroundings and being willing to follow directions. Okay? In your English classes, I'm sure you've heard about parables. That's a story that has a different meaning. Knowing that I was going to be giving this talk over the holidays, I started thinking about a story I might tell you, and one presented itself to me on the evening of January 2nd. I'd been out of town, and I came back into town. My wife and I, we had bought a few pieces of fruit before the trip, thinking that they would keep. As I came into the kitchen, and it was late, I was tired, been traveling all day. At that point, I go into the kitchen, and I see an orange in the fruit bowl, and that orange had some of that, yucky kind of mold on top, the white green looking stuff. Hate it. Don't like it, right? But I was like, man, I'm tired. It's late. It's just that one piece of fruit. I'll take care of it in the morning when I clean up the kitchen anyway. So the next morning I come down, I start making breakfast. I'm like, oh, fruit bowl. I turn around, look at the fruit bowl. It wasn't that one piece of fruit anymore. It was a lot. It's like I had to throw the entire bowl of fruit out. That wastes my money, my time, and energy. It means I'm going to have to go buy more. The parable that came to mind, though, the story that came to mind, comes back to this. All of us have a social responsibility to lift each other up positively. If you are spending your time and energy tearing somebody down instead of trying to help build them up, are you helping them or are you damaging them? And are you potentially damaging those around you? Much like the icky stuff on that fruit. I really want you to think about how you might be able to make a change for this year. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new semester. Let's spend our time and energy building each other up. That's how people grow. We don't grow by tearing each other down at all. There's a real life payoff for positive results. Positive results, positive behavior, positive attitudes ends up with choice. I want everyone in this room, I want everyone in this building I want everyone to benefit from having control of their lives and positive choice. If there's something going on that you don't like, communicate about it, see if you can get some help if you need it. But don't be afraid to make a change. If nothing changes, nothing ever gets better. Does that make sense? And my wish for you, my wish for everyone in this building is to become empowered and to become positive so that they can pursue their own dreams. Now, I really don't have anything other to say to you. Remember our focus, please. Let's endeavor, let's work toward making sure that we are living up to those three standards. Let's be safe, be responsible, and be respectful. That's three things. Can we do these three things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start dismissing you back to your classrooms, your advisories, so that you can get your bags. Please listen and follow directions.